Before the break, Mr. Behringer had his students complete a unique project in his AP Physics 1 class, the Catapult Project. Within the amount of time this project was assigned, students completed the project and exceeded all expectations. Big catapults, small catapults were all put to the test. Most considered the calculations the most difficult area of this project.
Very challenging because you had to come up with all the calculations you had to do from how many meters you were from the railing and how far you had to be, or the target had to be from the wall.
The objective of this project is two parts. The first part is that the students have to engineer a catapult to provide a projectile example from which they can do some analysis. And then the second part is actually practice with calculations based on a real scenario rather than things that I've simply provided them.
But there were other lessons learned.
What I learned from this is that it's really good to get started on projects early, because this isn't something you could just do in one night.
Well, it taught us how to not procrastinate.
Mr. Behringer received the idea for this project from a former co-worker many years ago.
I've been doing this project for 4 years now, off and on, and usually I do it every other year, and I decided with the new AP course this year for the juniors, the AP Physics 1 course, I decided to offer this as an activity this year.
For Eagle Nation News, I'm Joshua Fisk.
A business that has grown over the past several years is Animal Care. With Prosper High School's new vet clinic class, students are on their way to a promising career.
As a part of this new course, students get to gain hands-on experience with domestic animals. So what do students gain from this experience?
Well, right now we're working on resumes and stuff so we can be prepared for when we want to go pursue a career in animal medicine, the animal industry later in life.
You can be like an embryologist or animal geneticist, which is what I want to do, so that's why I took this class. So there's so many different options.
Prosper High School's agriculture teacher, Mrs. Burden, speaks more on the opportunities that the program gives to students.
We also do how to give vaccines. We practice on that, and we do how to practice drawing blood, filling out paperwork, the proper procedures, identifying animal behavior and what it looks like, what to do with an aggressive dog, your basic kind of safety procedures in a vet clinic and what you would need to do. This year we're starting the grooming program, which is really exciting. That's not very common in most schools in Texas. It is common for veterinary medical operations and classes within Texas, but it's not common to have the grooming. So it's exciting to be starting something new, developing a new program, and really growing to fit the needs of the students.
As students expand their knowledge in this class, the student body and faculty members can anticipate grooming services from them later on this year. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Kristen Neal.
Deep in the halls of the multi-purpose facility, a new program is emerging. Taught alongside diagrams of football plays and the infamous stench of athlete's foot, Coach Schneider is working hard to bring all the grandeur of the great outdoors right into the classroom.
First of all, I like the outdoors. I want to make sure, all students had at least been exposed to that, those types of activities. Maybe they've had a misconception or a perception of the way things are as far as certain things like hunting or fishing or whatever, and I want them to just be more knowledgeable. Well, we started the year where we do a lot of communication skills and listening skills and people skills. Then we'll do hunter's ed, and then we'll do fishing, angling, and then we'll do archery. And a lot of people don't know this, but you have to be certified to go hunting, and you have to be certified if you want to do it by yourself. If you want to go jet skiing by yourself, you have to be certified. And so we're getting that done in the class. When we left in the spring, we had about 65 signed up, and now we're at about 90. So we've gained, roughly 25 since spring. I'm not going to really put a number on it, but, I think it'll get much, much bigger than what it is now.
Outdoor adventure education may be new to Prosper High School, but it's starting out with a bang. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Kaylee Blevins.
With new directors comes new ideas, and this is no exception for the Prosper Eagle Band, who's starting the year off with an all-new staff.
The Womp originated with the University of Houston basketball band about 10 years ago, and it was a group of about 4 or 5 students who started it. It was just a drummer, a bass player, a guitar player, and then it caught on to the horn section, and I was the basketball band director at University of Houston when all this was starting, and I decided to add it for the full basketball band. So we did it at basketball games. Then in about 2006, we added it for the full marching band. So we played it at our first University of Houston football game, and the crowd didn't know what to do at first, and then eventually it caught on and everybody was singing along. When I brought it to Prosper, it was something that really only one other high school has ever used.
The marching band dedicates countless hours practicing songs like the Womp Womp on this very field, all in preparation to pump up the crowd on Friday nights.
I think the Womp Womp is the first of many attempts for the band to get the student section even more involved at football games. At Prosper, we already have a dynamic student section, and they really participate more than other schools. So the whole gist of all of this is to try to get the band, the cheerleaders, the dance team, and all the student body to be doing the same thing at the same time, because with that coordination, it'll be louder, it'll be stronger, it'll be more impressive, more intimidating to the other crowd. So if we can just tie it up all into a neat bow, it's a catchy thing that gets the community into the game, and that's what we want. Is we want our crowd to stay into the football game.
At Prosper High School, every student is loud and proud for their Eagles, but there are several who truly stand out when it comes to cheering on teams and supporting their community.
I wanted to become a spirit leader because I'm a really hyper guy, hyperactive in the community, so it's really fun to come to all the pep rallies and see everyone cheering in the crowds and getting people hyped up for the games, for the football games and the volleyball games especially.
In 2012, Prosper was gifted with their first set of spirit leaders to help lead the crowd in support of our Eagles. So what does a spirit leader really do?
Well, you got to have a lot of school spirit. You got to get crazy at pep rallies, at football games, and Mr. Wright will come to you and ask if you want to be a spirit leader. Just seeing Zach Cabal and all them out there made me want to be one. So
to become a spirit leader, I actually just started sitting on the front row. I got invited by a couple of my friends, and they told me I had to go crazy, and so I went crazy, and I guess Mr. Wright noticed it, and he called me into his office and he told me, he liked how I went crazy at pep rallies and stuff.
At the end of every year, Mr. Wright will hold auditions for anybody and everybody who would like to become a spirit leader. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Brennan Bell.